Right, the water, the plasma. So that is what I do to keep myself detoxed. But I just recently, hi whoever's there. Oh wait, now how do I get this? Okay. I just found out something really bad about water. And I had a feeling that whatever would take me down would involve water. Like when they're going to starve us or freeze us or whatever they're going to do to us, they are going to probably come at us from our fear, whatever it is we fear. So I'm trying to get over all my fears so I can truly say I'm fearless. So my last thing I did to confront a fear was I was searching for a snake that I could deal with. I thought it would even be just a little gardener snake, little innocent, not so threatening, but it ended up being that python that I did the video about. And I wasn't scared at all of that. I couldn't believe it. And I actually felt love towards it. It was weird. So anyhow, I don't know how long I can stay in here because I have this overhead light that is just blue light, just hurting my eyes. And normally, normally I plug in my laptop, or I have to take it outside. I have to crack the door and plug it in outside. So is my sound okay? Who's ever here? Can you tell me, or just say hi so I can see you? Um, so I usually plug it in outside, which cracks the door a little bit, and then they can hear me somewhat. But today there's a guy sitting right outside where I normally would plug it in. So that means I have to plug it in inside here, and that means I can't turn off this light because usually I just unplug the whole booth that I'm in, so I don't get light because it's motion detecting, it's movement. So I'm forced to have it on right now. So I don't know how long I can stand it. This hurts my eyes really bad. I don't know if you could tell how much it's bothering my eyes, but it is. So, and I've tried to be in here for a little bit of time to see if it would. So I just thought, well, I'll just go on and see how long I can last with the light bothering me. So I don't know, do people not realize this is what's happening? I remember back in the day when these LEDs first came out. Before that was the fluorescent lights, and then they came out with the LED lights. It must have been in the 90s, I think, when they came out. I'm not positive about that, but they were giving them away. They were giving packages of 4 or 6, or at least 4 in a package. And we got a couple packets. They were giving them away. So whenever you get anything for free, you're the product. So remember that, because they don't give away. Now you see that you can go get free. You don't have to pay for that. Anything they want you to have, they're going to give it to you. So right now they're trying to get me to get a smartphone, which I still don't have. And so now I can't do certain things like involving the bank and stuff like that because I can't get a text from them to get the code. So, and without the code, I can't get into my account. And they can't send me a code to my phone because it's a flip phone and it's not a smartphone. And they're trying to give the seniors and I don't know who else, but they're literally giving them away to people. So I still haven't gotten one, and I don't intend to get one. And I don't know how much it's going to affect me in the long run for everything. Probably getting warm in here. Probably don't need this scarf on. But it's cold out here in Washington. It's pretty chilly here. It's been in the 30s and dipping down into below freezing and frost on the cars and everything. So I'm still in the RV that I got in September, and I am now. I don't know what I'm gonna do. I'm just in a just. It's like I'm in a nightmare basically. but I'm trying to keep up my spirits and try not to let it get me depressed or down or whatever. And normally I'd have already gone south by now for like the winter, but I can't. I'm like stuck here and it's getting cold. So I don't know. I put up a GoFundMe and it's not really going anywhere. I'm not monetized here, so I don't, but, and I hate even asking anybody for money. I just don't like doing that. And I don't get money for anything I do here. So, but, and I don't really plan to. I don't want to have to be indebted to YouTube. But then they might, they're burying my stuff anyway. So because they can't, hi Teddy, how you doing? Haven't seen you for a while. Happy Thanksgiving. So I don't know. I just don't know what's happening. I feel like this accident happened like it was a divine intervention to keep me from continuously putting money into it, and it was already thrashed. I don't know. It's got too many problems for me to fix. I don't have the money to fix it. I used all the money I had to buy it after, trying to accumulate it for however long it was, months and months and months to do this. So, hi, Burger Boy. How you? How's everybody getting all ready to eat big? Yum, yum, yum. I used to cook for Thanksgiving, like the whole full-on meal for a lot of people. The best way to cook a turkey is upside down, like the breast is like that way, so all the juice drips into the breast because it's always really dry. So if anybody's a cook or anything, like you could do it on what do they call those? Smoky Joe things and stuff like that. Always remember to turn it upside down for the main part of it for like 3/4 of the cooking, and then flip it back up so the breast can brown in the oven, I guess. I don't know. I never really cooked with those Smoky Joe things. So, anywho, I just thought I would just stop, just come on and, show I'm still alive, even though I'm still kind of in shock. I realize I've been in shock, not just from this accident, but even before that, since this whole stuff started happening, since like 2019, more like 2020, I was in a total state of shock. Just seeing people with their masks on and just all the crazy nonsense. It's like, oh my God, people are falling for this stuff. I can't believe it. I literally was in shock when I saw this. And it's like, is there any help for mankind or what is going on here? This is too much. It really devastated me to see that. So this thing was just another layer of more shock. And also prior to that, I think this had something to do with my more waking up. I mean, I've been kind of awake more than most people for most of my life. I've always asked questions. I always just thought, wait, this don't seem right. Every time I went to a movie, I probably ruined the movie for everyone because I was pointing out all the holes in the movie and say, look what they're doing here. And it's like, I've always been that way. Even from being a little kid, I was always questioning everything, which sometimes got me in trouble. So then back, it was like, I don't know when it was, 2012 maybe. I don't know. I'm going to have to look it up and figure it out. When I lived in this apartment complex where I kept telling them something's wrong in my apartment, which was right over top of the electrical room. I kept telling them something's wrong. Well, I'm clear accenting it. So I'm picking up all these things that are going on. I didn't know what it was. I just said there's something going on in that room down below. And I told them at least 3 times. I think it was more, like at least maybe even 4 times, that there's something wrong down there. And they just kept blowing me off and blowing me off. And then all of a sudden, ba-boom, the whole thing exploded. It was a 60-unit apartment building. They had to evacuate everyone out and put them out up all over town for like days. I stayed away for like a week, but they paid for like 3 or 4 days for us to stay at hotels around town. One lady died. She had a heart attack. And I ended up having a TBI, uh, traumatic brain injury. But then it also broke all my filters. So a lot of these spells that I was still under broke. And I also started swearing, which I never did before. I was saying, the F word and just whatever. It was just, I was talking like a sailor. And so I knew something happened, but I didn't even know the whole scope of it. So, but then also it was that bad. It turns out that they were over $200,000 out of code. They weren't, everything wasn't in order. And they like hid that. They put it in the paper, but they put it in a corner where nobody would see it. And they didn't report about the lady dying. If they did, I didn't see it, or they did it later, or whatever. I never saw it. Hi, Abigail. How are you? So I think that might have had something to do with breaking these spells somehow. Because then after that, I started to understand more things, and I was able to see things differently than most people. I still do. And just because I'm a boomer, I'm not your typical boomer. I know there's a lot of boomers out there that are, you can't like really get through to them. Maybe because they've been under spells for quite a long time and they never broke them. But I've been in the healing arts for over 50 years, so I've been on top of things more than most people. And now I'm seeing how people are. I can just watch how they do their daily living, what they eat, what they watch, what they do, their activities or lack of. I can tell that they are where they are, like that they don't know. Even these so-called truthers, or these people that think they know a lot, they don't really know everything. Now, there's people that are reporting and saying some good things, but then they go off and they say something else, and it doesn't totally negate what they said, but it makes you wonder, like, are other things they're saying, is that disinformation too? Or a lot of it's misinformation, and I don't think it's on purpose. That's where their consciousness is, and they just don't understand. They don't know yet. But the main thing I think is, I always talk about the food. The food is way worse than we think. It's even probably worse than I think, because I keep learning more and more things about that. Yeah, I'm not doing so well. I'm trying to hold myself together, but I've had so many stresses and so many things like happening. Like I'm still in this RV that I totaled, and like it's as if it's not bad enough that I destroyed it or whatever. I hit an overhang that they just recently put up at the gas station where I go to get gas. And there was no signs, no clearance sign, and I wasn't alerted to it. Plus, I had sort of a blind spot where the RV is, it comes out over top of the cab of the truck part of it. And then you get this blind spot where you can't really see up in these corners. And when it happened, it was like surreal. It felt like I was in like a movie, like it was like a nightmare, and it was just like it hit and it just went, and it just like it looked like it was going in a spiral the way it like hit, and it set off like a chain reaction. And then that was happening, and I started yelling, what's happening, because I couldn't tell what was going on. And then like as that was happening, then all of a sudden it was like it was in slow motion. I mean, it happened fast, but it was in really slow motion. And then all of a sudden the whole driver's side window just cracked, and all the pieces just started flying, breaking down and flying everywhere. They were in my boots, and then later I had little pieces of the sand of the glass in my eye. Thank God. I hope it didn't damage my eye. Hi, Robin. How are you? Oh, so okay. There's a couple things I want to tell you guys about that I found out. That most people aren't going to tell you this stuff because they don't even know. For one thing, it's not like they're hiding the information. They just don't know it yet, or their consciousness isn't there. Okay. I started talking about, my own fear of where they're going to get me at was the water. The water. So you know how much I've been pushing the water with the salt in it, right? Now I wish I could get to the ocean a little bit and have better access to get the water straight and harvest it right from the ocean. That's probably what I'll end up doing, because I just found out recently that they are I don't even like telling people this, because then they want, like I'm the bad guy because I'm telling people these things. Yeah, well, a lot of people know things just because we've been here so friggin' long. I mean, like I don't know what the average age of a YouTuber is, but I would say probably the average is around 40 something, because there's going to be 20 some year olds and there's going to be 60 some year olds and stuff like that. But like most people that probably even watch, here, I don't even know people's ages, but I think I have a little bit older average of people, like maybe definitely over 40, but even over 50. I think I have the Gen X mostly, most of my viewers are Gen X. So so is that Gen X, Robin? Who can, if you guys here, could you just say which generation you are? You don't have to say your age if you don't want to. Just say, let's, I don't know how to do the poll thing on here. Okay, I could start a poll, but then if you put in a poll, it's just like a yes or no answer, right? So I don't want to do it that way. Answer viewer questions live, no. Okay. So which is weird, because I have millennials. I have this thing with male millennials. I call them millennials. I don't know why they're so attractive, why they're in my sphere, but they are. It's weird. I mean, just everywhere I go, like even when I was in Florida, there's all the Cuban boys. They're all millennials. Where I was living with like 5 millennial guys and able to relate to them and everything. I mean, a couple of them are kind of normies, but not all of them. But anyway, so it's just amazing that I get along with these guys, because at first I had this thing against millennials. My daughter's a millennial, but I just had this thing against them. But now it's like more of an endearment I have towards them. And now it's the Gen Z that is like, wow, they make the millennials, they put them up on a pedestal compared. It's so sad to watch this. I can't hardly take it, because I'm an empath and I see what they're doing to these young people. I mean, I don't like what's going on with this whole, the whole, what, I don't even know what I can say here without it's going to be called hate crime or some shit, just because you talk about things. And they don't want us talking about it because they know who's doing it. They're leading up all these poor children's minds and everything. Hi, Rudy. I am in, you mean where, like in what state? I'm in Washington State, in a town called Blaine. It's right at the Canadian border. Like, I could walk, I don't know how far I'd have to walk. It's not very far, like a couple blocks, and I'd be in Canada. But you can't just walk in like that. So, and then I always create a thing when I get at the Canadian border. First of all, I'm not even allowed in Canada because I'm a felon there. Oh my God. Such a bad person I am. Oh, so the water. Okay. I don't know who's here. If you remember me talking about how I have vertigo, and this vertigo that I have does not seem related to my ears, which usually vertigo is. It's an ear imbalance. So it turns out vertigo is sort of the symptom of it, but it is the lithium, they are putting lithium in the plastic bottles of water. And if anyone has ever taken lithium, I took it like, and I didn't even know why they were trying to give it to me, but then they're always trying to push some kind of bullshit onto people. And I am not bipolar, but that's what they give it to people for bipolar. And they're trying to convince me that I am, and I'm not. I don't have these manic episodes or anything like that. You want it, I can point you to people who have it, and you can see how they act. They're fine 1 minute, then the next minute they're manic and they're going off on you and they're just out of their mind. I don't have any of those episodes. I never had any kind of mental illness. Now I have ADD that I never had. And maybe it's considered ADHD. And I have to learn to cope with that. But anyway, so I told my daughter this like 4 or 5 years ago when I started getting this, which I thought was related to the nanotech, and it may still be, but I kept telling my daughter, this vertigo feeling reminds me of when I took lithium when I lived in Canada, because I remember, like, I literally was walking sideways, thinking I was walking straight, and I was walking like that, right into traffic. My boyfriend had to pull me away because I almost got hit by a car. So now I'm like I said, I've been pushing the water and drinking so much water, right? So I'm upping my water, and then I find out that there's the lithium is in the bottled water that I'm getting. So now what do I do? So I either have to find another source of water. I was getting, those machines, the Primo or whatever it's called, where you can go get, like, for 50 cents, you can fill up a gallon of water. So they have one of those at the store near where I'm at, but of course it's broken. So then I got to buy the bottled water that's been in the plastic, leaching it up, especially if it's distilled. It's probably really leaching it. And I usually like to get distilled, but I don't trust the water now. I don't know what to do. I have to have my water because, I try to shoot to drink a gallon of water a day, or liquid anyway. And then I take in like at least a tablespoon of Celtic sea salt, and that'll help keep you detoxed. But this whole thing, it seemed I kept like I'm getting worse. And somebody that I know that's in this Morgellons community was telling me about this other product that it's like a B12 and it's methylated, and certain people can't process vitamins and stuff. I don't think that's me, but I was willing to give it a try. And she said, like, the results for her boyfriend, her son's girlfriend, was like immediate. I've been taking it for days and I'm not feeling any better. It's not changing. So I'm wondering if it is the water, if there is lithium in the water, because now there's a lot of focus on lithium. In fact, Casey from Enter the Stars has been talking about it too. He's been doing some good research on it. What are you saying about how does it titrate the dose? Yeah, but I think soaking in it is it's still gonna get in your body, but not as much as drinking gallons of water, every day, taking it in and through the water. So I have to, do more research. So that's what I did. I got the methylation B12. I got 2 bottles of it. So I've been doing. How long, Robin? How long did it take you to notice the changes? Because this friend of mine is saying that it was immediate for this other girl. She said it was like you're saying, a game changer. I'm not seeing it. So that is more proof that it's something else, which I thought it was in the first place, but I was willing to give it a try. I look like a priest with this thing on, don't I? Okay, come tell me your confession, everybody. I want to hear it. Who knows what those priests are doing in those confessional booths while you're out there pouring out your shame? They're probably in there, whatin'. So what actually happened, Robin? Can you share your experience? Okay, and I still want to go back to see, wait, I have to go back here. Shoot, how do I get this to move? Oh, come on. Oh, this thing. Okay, I'm trying to look back on your, it's not letting me turn this whole thing. I can't go back on the, I'm trying to go back on the chat so I could see what you're saying and if you wrote down your, it won't move for me. Of course it won't. Why would it? All my devices, my bag, my email, everything is being affected. I'm like totally, I don't know if you can even say that word. I gotta learn some new hobo codes. Say them backwards like Matt does or whatever. Well, what are the little things? Because I want the big things to change, not just the little things. I want the big things. This is a big thing. I can hardly walk. I can hardly stand. When I stand up, I go, whoa. Especially in the RV, which is, I don't know if it's tilted or what, but when I try to walk, it's like I'm like in the house of, mirrors, or, like those weird houses that you go in at Halloween or whenever, or haunted houses, whatever they are. But I can't, when the floors kind of move and shift. So it affects me in so many ways. I literally can't walk straight. So I wanted to do some dance videos and stuff, but I don't know that I can do that. And I don't know how to get around the, what do you call it? The copyright. So people using songs and stuff all the time. So why do I get a copyright strike for something that was playing in the back room? It was obviously not part of my video. I mean, it wasn't an intentional set to music. So I don't know how you get to the music that you want. All right. So, okay. As far as supplements, I don't take supplements. I don't believe in them. I believe if you're doing the right things, you don't need. I try to think of the things that are natural for us, that we should be doing, the way we should eat and all that. Like God or creator, whatever you want to call it, which I'm questioning the whole God thing right now. I mean, I believed in God pretty much all my life, but I don't now. I am questioning it because I don't believe a good, loving God would allow what's going on to happen. Children coming into this world all fucked up and messed, with all these diseases and everything. They don't deserve it. Nobody deserves it. We're innocent. I ain't buying this original sin bullshit. Sorry, I ain't going for it. So I always try to think, okay, all right, say there is a God or creator, whatever you want to call it, and he puts us on this earth, right? Forget all the technology and everything. A whole new start, like you just get put into the Garden of Eden or whatever. And there's no such thing as computers and this and these machines and all that stuff. No things to make food. Like, do you realize how much the health declined when they kept putting out these new foods and stuff like that? Remember, I've been watching this for a long time, and I know how foods used to be, and I've been reading labels, and I know what they're doing. Now, the other thing I'll tell you about food, I don't know if I could say that I got worse. No, I was already, as far as the vertigo, it seems to get worse when I drink more water. I started to connect this and realize this was what was happening. Because up to then, I didn't suspect that it had. I was starting to question the water. I'm saying, I know that the tap water is no good, but how much better is water put into a plastic bottle? And I don't care if they changed it from the other formula and then they just use another type of plastic chemical crap. It's still all garbage. It's still all toxic and poisonous to us. So where would we go to get for one thing, I don't think we ever were meant to eat as much people eat. Never 3 meals a day, not even 2. I don't even think we needed 1 meal, but I'll give you that. But we are programmed to eat. And then think about how much time you invest in eating. You think of what you want, you get hungry or you want this, you gotta you get the thought of what you want, create an appetite, then you gotta go shop for it, then you gotta, buy it, pay for it, then you gotta take it home and cook it, and cooking is not good, it's not healthy. You are destroying anything that you cook. In only stored glass. Yeah, I have it in glass too, but I don't have enough glass containers to store all my water. Like maybe a gallon or so, like 2 half-gallon jars. But then beyond that, it's going to end up in plastic again. But I think if you get him in those water filters, like you're saying, at the store, those Primo or whatever, it's only in that plastic from the time it's just coming through the filter or through the spout into the bottle, and then you can take it and put it into something else. What do you think about storing it in metal? Hi there, biohazard fallout. No, my motorhome is not repaired, and it's not going to. I can't afford to fix that. I put all the money I had saved up from what I had before and kept adding to it each month. I was trying to get enough to get this vehicle, and then this happened. Hey, Ray Clay, there you are. Gobble gobble. So it's like the repairs would cost more than it would be than the whole thing is worth. So I mean, I got a couple estimates, and one is like just for the one part of it. That's before it even broke. Even before I hit that, and it was all this damage. It was like $10,000 to repair to begin with. Before I even hit that thing, it had that much damage in it. So I just made a poor investment, and my gut, my intuition let me down. It didn't alert me to, because I believed this guy. He kept telling me all these things. There was no leaks. It won't need seal till next summer. The roof won't need redone. It needed it done last summer. There were so many leaks up there. It's just unreal. And then if it wasn't bad enough, I'm still living in it, still under the threat of mold and whatever. And I mean, I'm taking my chance just being in there. I've already lost the left lobe of my lung because of mold. And that was my big concern, asking this guy about the leaks. And he said, there's no leaks. No, 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 no leaks, nothing, no water damage, nothing, no. And then it turns out, I find out, through getting estimates for all these different repairs I had to do. I had put in like $500 the first week just in two things, replacing two things, over $500. Yeah, I'm sure if it was somebody like that. But I don't have insurance on my own vehicle. I only have insurance for the other guy. So none of my stuff can be covered. And there was no one else involved in it. It was just me hitting the overhang. So everybody's got mold in them on some level. Mold is what they're using as the interface for these operating systems we have in our body. People aren't aware of this. Who here knows about this? I want to know for real, because it seems like I'm talking to people that I can't even communicate with because they have no idea what I'm talking about. Who here knows that we have operating systems in our body? Anybody? Nobody knows this? Come on, somebody knows. You do know, Robin. I'm sure Robin knows. So, okay, so the mold acts as the interface for what they're doing. We have all these things that are going on inside of us that, like there's insects growing in some of us. Literally. My friend had two live little alien looking bugs come, not at the same time, two different times, out of two different parts of her body. One came out of her forehead and one came out of her neck, her throat, like down here. She's had, and they're on my channel. You can look under Morgellons and see these little bugs. They're only like 15-second videos, showing these bugs. I mean, granted, they're magnified, but still, you could see that they're live. And I literally got wasp wings. There wasn't a fully formed wasp live, but there was fully formed wasp wings that came out of me. I mean, you need a microscope to see this stuff. You're not going to just notice like, oh, there's a bug just came out of me. You have to be looking to see it and look under a microscope to see it. So you have to be aware of these things happening. So, and it's too bad for those of us that have the Morgellons and we get accused of being meth addicts and stuff like that. You can see I'm healthy enough that I'm not a drug addict. I mean, we all are drug addicts on some level. If you're eating the food from this food system at these supermarkets, you are an addict. Sorry. And everyone's in denial, and no one wants to hear about it. So I get to be the bad guy because I'm talking about it, and people literally just walk away from me because they don't want to have to give up their drugs, meaning the food, the drugs that they don't want to get up, as they make fun of all the homeless meth addicts and other heroin addicts or whatever, fentanyl or whatever's going on now. They're making fun of those people. Meanwhile, they're doing the same thing. It's just disguised. This is sickening to me. A lot of people out there with this holier than thou, better than you kind of attitude. Meanwhile, they're doing the same thing. They just don't see it. They're in denial. That's what it's called, being in denial. And they're going to talk about other people. You guys know that I'm a therapist and I have experience as such. I know I am. Oh, really, Rod? Hi, Rod. Sorry to hear that. Do you know? Is there a specific name for what it was called? That is she or he who died of the mold related, or how did it manifest in them as far as symptoms in that? Their neurological symptoms. Did they have like neuropathy? And because I have that too. I have tea tree oil. I can put tea tree into any shampoo. I don't really like using shampoo, and I am a hairstylist. That's my profession. I have a teacher's degree in cosmetology, which covers my massage therapy and hair, nails, skin, color, the whole gamut. I have a teacher's degree in all of it. But I got my teacher's degree mainly to manage salons, which I did from Pittsburgh to Phoenix to Southern California. That's what I did. I managed hair salons and worked at them. I worked and managed them. So I'm an aromatherapist too. So I have like so many different types of essential oils, and I use them for all I put my own essential oils into everything. You can make your own Vicks, you can get some coconut oil and put in some menthol, eucalyptus, and what's camphor. Those are the three main ingredients in Vicks. But then if you want to have it already made for you and it's a little better, it's still a petroleum jelly, you can get the chest rub at the dollar store that is from India, and it has 4 more essential oils in it in addition to those other 3. So it has a total of 7 essential oils at the dollar store. Just because it's called Vicks, Vicks is not the better brand. Most of these name brands are not the better brand. The generic ones are better. Or better yet, make your own, because then you could replace the coconut oil. I mean, use the coconut oil to replace the petroleum jelly. All medicines are petroleum based, and it's in like all the cosmetics, the makeup, and all that stuff. Well, probably, I don't know, it might have something to do with your diet being different than the other person's diet. Unless you ate exactly the same and did everything the same and had the same routine, and that we're going to manifest things differently. So all these so-called diseases are all induced in us. So I don't even know if I should leave this video up when I'm done. You know, I am so aware of how everything is coming at us from every angle. You would not believe it. Most people do not realize how under attack we are. I mean, it's coming from the lighting. That's why I said I don't know how long I can stand it in here, because I usually avoid this kind of lighting. I have a whole collection of incandescent bulbs that I've been saving up for years, because you can't buy them. I mean, I think you could still get them, but I bet there's some other thing in them that makes them evil. So I have really old incandescent bulbs. I have infrared lights that are real infrared, not painted on red. That is not infrared. I have black lights, and I have heat lamps, which you can't buy anymore over 65 watts. You can't get the 90 watt or 120 watt heat lamps that you used to be able to get. They're going to keep us from being warm. They're going to try to freeze us to death. Yeah. Well, I don't know how we can deal with this. I mean, some people can literally see it growing in their home. Um, so I didn't finish telling you the story about the guy telling me that there were no leaks and no nothing. You know, everything was cool. Then one of the RV guys that was inspecting and showing me stuff told me that the hot water tank had exploded in there, and you could see the mold, like the black going around the casing around it. Um, I mean, I didn't see this, and I didn't know where to look for certain things. I've never had an RV. I didn't know all the things that were involved in it. I was in way over my head by myself. Like, as weak as I am right now was not a good thing for me. I mean, it's nice and it's cute and it was cozy and comfortable. It was nice to be able to stand up, because I've been living in a car for 3 years. It's getting old. Now, if I had this nice, like there was somebody next to me, like had a brand new one of those big new vans, brand new, and it was empty inside, and they were fixing up and doing all these things. She wouldn't even tell me how much it cost. She goes, "It cost a lot." Well, I know it cost a lot. I just wanted to get an idea, but it was like a brand new one. So I don't even know. But it's like, I even said to her, "Oh, I'm so jealous." Like, just, I mean, it was even way higher than it needed to be for me. But that was what's nice about the RV, was I could get up, I could stand up in it, I could dance, I could do like I could roll out my yoga mat. I had just enough space to roll my yoga mat and be able to do downward, just do some yoga. So anyway, oh, so you guys, I don't know if I asked, I can't push this back for whatever reason. I can't make this go beyond what's right up here. Man, this is so awful. I can't do this. Pop out chat. I could do that. What happened? So that covers me up though, huh? Can I move this over? Oh yeah, I could put it. Oh, cool. There, I can see a little bit more of that. Okay, now can I wait? I'm trying to get this. So oh, good, I can move it back. All right, so I saw one said millennial, but I didn't see what the rest of you guys said. All right, yes, I'm in a library, Rudy. Hi, Rudy. I'm in a library. It's in a it's like a pod. They call it a pod, and it's like soundproof, and it's got plugs and cord, stuff. They had a light, a different kind of light here, but this overhead light is the one that's bothering me. So, so yes, I am in a library. I'm in a booth that somebody donated. I think it was like $12,000 for this thing, but I don't know. So okay, so that would, I think 46 would be a, wouldn't that be Gen X, right? Gen X is like 40 something to 50, 60, I think. So I normally don't take supplements pretty much at all. So, so I'm not getting it repaired. I can't afford to. It's total because the things were all over $10,000 repairs. And that one was $10,000, almost 10,000, it was 9,000 something for something for the thing where he told me there was rot there. So that was my first professional person telling me there was literally rot in there. This was after I purchased it. And the guy, when I asked him if I could call him, you know, and ask him like questions about it and stuff like that, he said, "Oh yeah, sure, sure." But after he had the money and the deal was done and everything, I get a text from him. He says, "Quit texting me. I can't help you." After he told me he would. So he literally lied about everything. So, and so it turns out that the hot water heat exploded in there, and he had to have known that. You couldn't just not know that. It wasn't like, oh, there was a leak and you didn't see it. You could not get out. I mean, if a hot water tank exploded, you would know it, whether it was in your house or your car or in the RV, not in your car, I don't think. Well, yeah, it's not just the big pharma that's making us addicted. I mean, yes, it is big pharma, but it's in the food. It's literally in the food. So here's another thing I found out. I don't know. Does anybody here know Celeste Holmes is her name? Oh, I can't think of her last name, but her name is Celeste. She says that now she's a former FEMA employee of FEMA, and she's like sort of ratting FEMA out, I guess. But I don't know how much why they would allow her to speak against them. But so anyway, I that's why I'm not really sure if she's controlled opposition or if she's really out there to help us or not. I don't fully know yet. But anyway, I don't know. Do you guys know Jamie from Plain Truth? I mean, he vouches for her, but there was something he said he disagreed on. He said, "I have to disagree with you on this," but it wasn't what I'm going to tell you now. But it was some other thing. So I asked him, "Is she to be trusted? Is she controlled?" He says, "I not normally. She seems like she's on her side or whatever." But then something he disagreed with her, like I've disagreed with her. But on this thing, I don't really know for sure. But what she's saying is that the vaccination nation ingredients are in the food supply. So what do you make of that? And I wouldn't doubt it because I think it would go under what I've been reporting about for the last couple years now, the natural flavoring. There's so many things that can go under this natural. I mean, you could it could be vanilla or lemon flavoring or something like that, but I think it's something more sinister, because why don't they say it? Sometimes they will say natural vanilla flavoring, something like that. But other times it's just natural flavoring. You have no idea what this natural flavoring is, and people and babies and insects and animals are all as natural as it gets. So I think that could fit right under that designation of natural flavoring. That could be one of the very many things that they're slipping in the food. And I really honestly think that both the and the food are both working together to create the whole Kuru disease. Do you know what Kuru is? You know what mad cow is? Yeah, that's eating your own species. I think that's what's happening. Does anybody else know of anything about this? Do you hear anybody else talking about this? No, I don't think so. If you do, please let me know, because I really need somebody to bounce this information off of that I get. And sometimes it comes to me through my clear sentence. I get a feeling about something, and then I might not be able to prove it for months, weeks, years, maybe. Sometimes I have things come to me like, okay, this whole thing with this lithium that I kept telling my daughter, this feeling that I have keeps reminding me of, like years ago when I took that lithium and Rob had to pull me out of the traffic that I was walking into because I didn't know what the hell I'm doing. It's actually like a, what do you call it? It's a relaxant, so it like slows you down and makes you easier to control. So I've been listening to Casey on, Enter the Stars. He's been onto this lithium stuff and where these lithium mines are. In fact, one of the biggest lithium mines is right under Maui, Lahaina. Coincidence, huh? Just a coincidence. There are no coincidences. There are the synchronicities, I believe, are all synthetic and designed and created for us. I wonder if there's something you could like spray that would show you where the mold is. I'm reading you're saying that it wasn't visible, but it was in crevices. So I'm just wondering, it's probably there, but you can't see it. I'm just wondering if there's something we could spray on it or sprinkle on it or something to make it more visible so that you can see that it's actually there. So anyway, I lost the left lobe of my lung because of mold. I have a scar that goes from right here all the way under my breast up under my arm here, where they opened me up and removed. They had to take out the whole lobe because it had cavitated it so much, and I didn't know, and I wasn't really getting sick so much then. But when I first got to Phoenix, when I went to Arizona, I lived there for 3 months, for 3 years. But when I first got there, I remember people telling me, beware of the Deadly Valley fever. And I got the Deadly Valley fever. So I guess it could have killed me, but I ended up having it cut out. But if I were to be in that position again, I might just let it consume me. I'm not going to let them open me up again. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to go to a doctor or a hospital. So I'm ready to die. I'm not going to kill myself. I'm not suicidal. I don't know if anybody thinks I am, but I'm not. And I never have been. I've never attempted it. I don't want to. But I'm willing to go. I don't want to be in this place. It's not what we think it is. I don't even really know how to explain it. I mean, I have my own ideas about it, but I'm not going to really, people aren't going to believe it. That's why it's such a personal thing that we all need to work on our own self and do what you need to do to travel the road less traveled, make it through the eye of the needle, and get the hell out of here. I don't want to keep coming back to this place. I had a near-death experience. Anyone else here have it? If you want to talk about it, feel free to talk about it. But there's nothing here for me, like people always say, go back to this, go back. I don't want to go back to anything. I've come this far. I don't want going back, nothing. I'm trying to break free of this whole system, this whole machine, the whole 9 yards, all of it. I don't want it. That's why I don't want to live in a house. I don't want to live with people. I can't live with people because I can't live in people's homes because I'd have to have control of you should have seen how I had my place modified. I don't know if somebody's trying to get in here. If she has an appointment to come in here. There's a girl outside the door here looking. I don't think there's anybody else supposed to come in here. Because I told them I'd be here till like 3:30, I think. But this light is really starting to bother my eyes here. So, and what did somebody say? Have an umbrella. Am I supposed to sit here the whole time holding an umbrella? I think my arm would probably get tired. So, anyhow. So I don't know what to do as far as getting my water now, because my water is my main thing. Because I will detox for the rest of my life, because everything you put in your body pretty much needs to be detoxed out. There's very few pure foods. And I bet, how many here know about the vegetables? Anybody? Anybody onto this? Know about this yet? Nobody's going to answer. Come on, guys. I can't be the only one knowing these things. We need more people on board to know what's going on here. Vegetables aren't good for us. The whole vegan thing is a psyop. It's gonna take people out. How many people know a vegan that's been a vegan for like 10 years or something? It's not a sustaining lifestyle. They are not hydrated. Vegetables do not hydrate you. That's why I do the salt water, because that will hydrate you at the cellular level. There's nothing good about vegetables. And don't say fiber, because fiber is a lie too. We don't need fiber. Fiber just adds more compaction to it already. It doesn't help it. Do you think, like, if you had like a big, I don't know, dried something that's like a big wad of a mess, like mud, say just mud drying. Do you think adding cardboard to that fiber is going to make that break down any better? No, I don't think so. That's why water is like the most amazing substance there is. And seawater, they have us afraid to drink the salt. They have us afraid of fat. People buying low fat, no sodium, low sodium stuff. This is what they want. If you knew what food used to be like 60 years ago or more, even 50 years ago, even 40 years ago, but then like now it's, been slowly, everything they do is incremental, and it's like the slow boiling of the frog. Are you getting hot yet? You getting hot yet from the and death of 1,000 cuts? It's like 1,000,000 cuts at this point. When you've been around as long as I have. I mean, I was getting attacked way back when I took, I don't know if this is the reason for it or not, but I noticed in hindsight, I made the connection that I got fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue at the same time, that in the same era back in the 80s, when I got Or wait, no, it was the 70s. Oh yeah, it would have been the 70s. Yes, that I got the it was a Hep B vaccination. So that's vaccine damage that I got. So I don't know if anybody else has this or knows of it or remembers it. Is anyone here old enough to have been in the living in the 70s? And then also in the 60s, we got those little sugar cubes. I think I was in like 5th grade or something, like they gave us that. So I got that inoculation, and then I got a tetanus shot because I stepped on a rusty nail and it went up into my foot. And so, but I don't, that's not necessary. We don't need to give them to our animals either. And they're coming at the animals too. So, does anyone have any questions? Nobody seems to want to interject anything, and I'm doing all the talking. I don't particularly like it when YouTubers have a live stream and then they just talk the whole time and they don't interact with the chat. They don't look and see if anyone's asking questions. They're not. So what's the point of having a live? You might as well just put out a video and let people listen to it, rather, if you're not going to interact with them. So I'm always going to ask you your opinion or your take on it, or because I could just make a video and say all these things, but I like interacting with people and I want to get them involved in what's going on and to help to understand what is happening. Most people do not know, and I can tell they don't know. Like sometimes I have to, just to like meeting people in real life, I have to ask them little questions to see where they're at. I might mention something about like 9/11 or some other thing, and if they just go along with the narrative, if they're just TV watchers, and certain things they say to me, I can tell where they're at and that they're not going to listen to me. I just met a girl a couple days ago that she says, I think we have a lot in common. And it turns out that we did. And she really liked listening to me. And it seemed like she wanted to get more. And at first I thought, oh my God, did I give her like way too much information? And then it like scares people and then they back off. But she said no. She said no. She says, I'm really curious and interested in what you have to say. So that was a good thing, because I thought I like just lost a friend immediately, like I probably tend to do anyway. So I don't know. I don't know. This girl keeps looking over here, so I'm gonna have to go ask her. I'm gonna go ask this girl if she's waiting because she keeps looking over here. Yeah, well, you could use it. I do a lot or something. I saw you looking. I thought, oh, I don't know if they have, because you can make an appointment too. Yeah, yeah. Well, somebody donated it. Somebody in the neighborhood, I guess. Yeah, yeah. Because I like it because it's soundproof mostly, but this light is like, oh, hurts my eyes. So I have to be all sly about unplugging the plug to get this light to go off. But right now I have this plugged in, so. But I'll probably get off in a little bit anyway. So since nobody wants to chime in and they're just letting me go off on it. So anyhow, I'm not one to take a bunch of supplements because that's not where it's at. And most supplements have, okay, they switched the capsules from gelatin to cellulose. Do you know what cellulose is? No. Okay. Anyway, it's not a good thing. It's like, all right, they're gearing a lot of things to the vegetarians, but that also means that they're not healthy and they're not going to be good for us, and they're going to have all kind of crap and toxins and stuff like that. Try to tell me what's good. Tell me, like, try to find. I can barely find hardly anything to eat. Everything, almost every day, I'm cheating every day because there is nothing good out there. Even if you're like, granted, if you're growing it yourself, yeah, it's probably better just because of the love you put into it or whoever's putting it in. But with vegetables not being good for us, and do you know, who knows? I want somebody to answer this for me. I am not Christian or any religion at all. I'm not religious, nor am I political. And that helps me to see things that other people can't see because they're caught up in whatever paradigm they're in, and they can't go against what they've invested their life into. So, oh shoot, now I forgot what I was going to ask. Oh, okay. So in the Bible, there are things in the Bible that I know about, even though I don't really study the Bible. And I noticed, some of the changes they've made to the Bible. I believe that the Bible is a manual written by them telling you what they're going to do. And people think they're like a prophesizing, like they can tell, they can predict the future because they are creating it. So they've bastardized the Bible and they have all these messed up things in there. But originally, there's probably truths that were manipulated. And I don't trust this King James version. King James was a Freemason, and not that I'm going to go off into that stuff because I don't. But I just know that the Bible was manipulated. But anyway, in the Bible, they talk about the forbidden food. Who knows what the forbidden food is? Are there any Christians here that would know? I'm going to read some of these while somebody answers to see who knows what I'm talking about. I'm so sorry, Rod, about that, your partner. Okay, so nobody knows or nobody wants to answer? Not even a guess? Okay. It's starch. Starch is the forbidden food. Starch messes us up. Starch is in a lot of things. There's corn starch, there's potato starch, there's just all these starches that our bodies can't handle. And people, it's like it's like a carbohydrate. Carbohydrates are literally harming people. And they don't know how bad they are for you. So my diet is mostly animal based. Dairy, meat and dairy, and eggs are my main calories, protein, and foods. My medicine. I drink raw milk, and luckily I can still get that. And butter. I use butter a lot. I get also duck fat from a lady farmer that I get my eggs from, and sometimes she sells duck breasts, and lamb, and chicken, and they have it as steaks and whole and ground and all kind of ways. So, and I shop. That's usually at the farmer's market where I go to shop. The only thing I get at the supermarket is citrus, lemons and limes, bottles of pure, real, dark maple syrup. Dark being more minerals. Second run. The first run, like people think that's the primo run, but that has the least amount of minerals in it. The grade C is actually the best and the strongest, but you can't even get it. So if you ever get maple syrup, get dark. They wanted to give me food. They had at the supermarket, they had a table set up, and parent mothers with their kids and stuff like that were taking donations for food bank stuff. And she's asking me if I want any. And I go, well, I don't, probably not anything there that I can have. And I told her the few things that I would get from that store. And I said, one of them is maple syrup and raw milk. She goes, I says, well, they're not gonna donate raw milk when it's like 11 a gallon. So and then she says, oh, maple syrup. There's some maple syrup you can have in there. She pulled out the bottle. You know what it is, right? It wasn't maple syrup. It was pancake syrup that's basically sugar water or whatever else they put into it. I'm going to have to look at the ingredients, and it has maple flavoring, but it is not maple syrup. I only get the best of everything, and I eat very little. So instead of like, I will take what a normal person would spend like $30 or $40 on a whole bunch of stuff, a bunch of crap, and I will just get a couple quality things because the steaks now I can't even get. Well, I can get them, but they're like $49.99 a pound for beef steaks, tenderloin steaks, which I like because I'm able to chew them better because a lot of my teeth are missing. And I also have TMJ, which makes it really hard for me to chew. So I just get a tiny little piece. I'd rather have a little piece of meat than a big piece of like hard to chew, like cheap cut meat. And I will not eat meat from the supermarket like that. Maybe the only place I get it in a store is at the co-op, which they're getting it from farms, from local ranchers. So basically that's all I eat. And I go 12 to 16, usually around 14 hours a day without eating. I don't eat until about 10 or so in the morning, and I quit eating by 6 o'clock at night. I might have a little bit of a snack or like some nuts or something, but I got to quit those too, I guess. I don't know. But there's a couple things that bring me enjoyment that I shouldn't probably eat, like chocolate, dark chocolate, and nuts is my little treats at night. Like, but I won't eat after 7 o'clock. I won't have them, and then I'll go like till 10 the next morning. So that's like 13 or 14 hours usually. So, and you can see I'm pretty healthy. I'm not too skinny. I'm not too fat. I'm a little bit overweight actually. But then I also found out that the lithium causes weight gain too. So that's another factor that's weighing in, showing that that may be what the problem is that I'm having. I never, I knew it was related to the lithium. I just knew it. I thought it was lithium coming from the chemtrails, which it could be coming from there, because there's all these other, the aluminum, barium, strontium, and lithium is in there too. So we're breathing it and drinking it. So I noticed that my symptoms, in looking back, my symptoms got worse. My vertigo was getting way worse as I was increasing my water consumption. And then I find out about this, and I'm surprised he didn't go into that even more, that he even brought it out, in his research. And that's Casey at Enter the Stars. Now, there's some things he says that I disagree with, especially the religious stuff, but he's doing a lot of good investigating and decoding and doing a lot of different stuff. As he's trying to help people, he's building his own homestead in Arkansas, and then he finds out there's a lithium mine near him, right near him. He thought he was so cool, where he found this place that was sort of off the beaten path, and he's got these cool neighbors, and he's not actually off the grid, but he's moving in that direction, and he's out in the wilderness, and he's just built a simple house. And so he's to be commended for that. I'm proud of him for having done all that. And he's building fire pits and all. So he's got a little thing going on showing how his homestead is growing. So I'm all for that. And that's what they talk a lot about in those Ringing Cedars of Russia that I tell people about, that it's got a lot of intel in it. It's a 9-book series, and I've read it 4 times, all 9 books. I'm on my 5th time around. every time I read it, my consciousness is in a different place. It's higher. It's going to take in more and more information. So I get a whole different thing. And sometimes it's like, oh, I got more clear on something else. And there are a couple things that I question, but I still will keep questioning them. So I don't know if anyone else has read that book. I don't know. Nobody is saying anything here. I don't know if the chat is working. I can't believe nobody has said anything for like half an hour or so. Nobody wants to chime in, so I can have a break. You can hear my throat getting really hoarse from too much talking. Okay, I'm gonna have to go in a little while anyway because I am helping. There's a restaurant in town here that is giving out dinners to some of the homeless people. So I'm not so much for me, but I'm gonna get dinners to pass out to the homeless. There's a homeless encampment nearby. It's not as big as the one in Bellingham. The one in Bellingham is huge. Oh my God, it's behind a Walmart. It's like huge. I'd be afraid to go there. But the lady is kind of afraid to go into the homeless encampment by herself, and I told her I'd go with her. So either I'm going with her to deliver these Thanksgiving dinners to the homeless people, or she's going to bring them to me, and I'm going to take them to to a few people anyway. So, and then I got invited through, I don't know if anybody's familiar with Nextdoor, the neighborhood app that people keep talking about what's going on. There's been all kind of stuff going on in our neighborhood. Bears, and cats, families and animals and people's dogs and cats missing, and they're trying to find them and stuff like that. There's already been a murder, just all kind of stuff. But it's usually good stuff, so that stuff's not so good. But somebody on there invited me to go to their house in another little town that's not too far away, but it's a different town, and invited me to come be with their family and have dinner with them. So that's nice, but they're total strangers. So, but they sound pretty nice. I'm sure they're good people. I mean, these are people that are on all the time, and it's sort of just like a little community of people, talking about what's going on in the neighborhood. So I got invited to their house, so I'm going to go there tomorrow. So I'm trying to, take help and give help. So I'm always trying to pay it forward. Whatever somebody does something for me, I try to do it for the other person. So I have to go do that now because it's getting close to the time. Well, I don't know what time it's, but I would think around 4 o'clock or something. I got to go find out from the lady who is sort of in charge. And then there's the CAP place here too, that is Community Assistance Program. They put out yesterday, I didn't sign up for it, unfortunately, because they gave out these boxes. They had to be probably worth $70 a box or something, because they gave out these things and you had to call and sign up to be on the list, and I didn't do it, which I could have, and I just totally forgot about it. But they gave away boxes with like a 5-pound bag of white potatoes. There was like a half a dozen loose yams, a stalk of celery, a box of what do you call it? Stuffing mix, bread crumb things or whatever. Cranberry sauce. I mean, these boxes were full of stuff, and that didn't even include the turkey, which they gave to them at the end of the line. They got their box first, then they got a gallon of milk, and then they got a whole turkey. And I didn't sign up for it. I helped a lady to find it, and then I realized, oh no, I had the card and everything, and I totally forgot to send it in or call it in or whatever you have to do. So I was out that, but I helped somebody get theirs. But anyway, I have a place to go tomorrow anyway, so it's okay. Alrighty. So anybody want to say anything before we get off, guys? I don't know who thinks I should take this up or leave it up or take it down. I don't know. Because a lot of the things I say, they're going to come against me because I'm not totally using, I'm not like, it's hard to not, this, there's so much stuff that I know and I've known for a long time that I can't really even say. Because, I've already said a lot. And for most people, maybe not you guys, but like people, like mostly in real life or just people I come up against, they can't handle the information I have. They can't even listen to me for 5 minutes. And I have to tone, that's even with me dumbing myself down to their level and trying to talk like not to, I can't hardly say anything to some people. I have to ask them, well, what do you think about this? Or did you know about that? Or get their take on something like Lahaina or something. That Lahaina thing is another 9/11 if you don't know. I'm sure you guys know. But can't tell me otherwise. The same type of tactics, the same kind of combination of different, things that they did. Same similar stuff, But I think it's a combination of things. People want to call it one thing or another, and I think it's a combination of more than one thing, like different types of, I can't say it. I can't say the words. I just can't. I mean, I want to say it, but I think you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm talking about, right? So I believe that the same thing have all these places, whether it's Lahaina or Paradise or Ohio or all these places where all these so-called fires are going on. And then there was the arborist that has been going around. His name is Robert something. But anyway, he said he wasn't going to go back on, but then he did, so I don't know. But he's said that he's investigated 106 of these fires, and out of those 106 were natural. So I don't know what you think of that. Now, I don't know what's happening with this chat thing. What does this mean? There it is. Okay. All right. So it looks like it's time for me to get off of here. So I'm going to, I don't know how I'm going to close this down, but I'm just going to end the stream here. And I'll try to come back on again. I don't know if I don't even know if I should put this up or not, but probably. I don't know how to stop it from going up before they can get to it. Does anyone know how I can shut this down without and like delete it? I don't know how to delete it before it goes up to be posted. Because then I don't know how long it takes them to do what they're going to do. I don't know if they're going to, whatever. But I haven't done a live stream in a while, so I don't know. But anyway, I hope you all have a happy Thanksgiving. I don't know if I'll come on tomorrow. Maybe I might. I don't know. But I'll probably be at somebody else's house. So I probably might not. But maybe I'll come back on Friday. A lot of places are going to be closed on Friday too, Thursday and Friday. So, okay, I hope you all have a very wonderful celebration or whatever you do. Enjoy your families, enjoy the love. Try to smile, be happy, and laugh as much as you can. So, much love to everyone around the world.